Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama-sloke Bhaktir Bhavatir Naishtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, the Samam Bonam, Chapter 79. Lord Balaram goes on pilgrimage. Text 30 onwards. Tam Punaha Naimisham Praptam Rishayaha Ayajayan Muda Kratu Angam Kratubihi Sarvai Nivritta Akila Vigraham Tam Punarnaimisham Praptam Tam Punarnaimisham Praptam Rishayo Yajayan Muda Rishayo Yajayan Muda Kratavangam Kratubhi Sarvai Kratavangam Kratubhi Sarvai Nivritta Kila Vigraham Nivritta Kila Vigraham Tam Punarnaimisham Praptam Rishayo Yajayan Muda Kratavangam Kratubhi Sarvai Nivritta Kila Vigraham Tam Punarnaimisham Praptam Rishayo Yajayan Muda Kratavangam Kratubhi Sarvai Nivritta Kila Vigraham Punarnaimisham Praptam Rishayo Yajayan Muda Kratavangam Kratubhi कोई बोला था कौन था anybody else Tam Punarnaimisham Praptam Rishayo Yajayan Muda Kratavangam Kratubhi Sarvai Nivritta Kila Vigraham Tam Punarnaimisham Praptam Yajayan Muda Kratavangam Kratubhi Sarvai Nivritta Kila Vigraham. Matajis Tam Punarnaimisham Praptam Rishayo Yajayan Muda Kritavangam Kutabhi Sarvam Dita Kila Vigraham. What word meaning? Tam, him, Lord Balaram, Punaha, again, Naimisham, at Naimisharanya, Praptam, arrived, Rishayaha, the sages, Ayajayan, engaged in performing Vedic sacrifices, Muda, with pleasure, Krato, of all sacrifices, Angam, the embodiment, Kratobihi, with ritualistic performance, Sarvai, all varieties, Nivritta, who had renounced, Akila, all, Vigraham, warfare. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Later, Lord Balaram returned to Naimisharanya, where the sages joyfully engaged him in embodiment of all sacrifice, in performing various kinds of Vedic sacrifice. Lord Balaram was now retired from warfare. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, when Lord Balaram went to the holy place of pilgrimage at Naimisharanya, the sages, saintly persons and brahmanas all stood up to receive him. They understood that Lord Balaram, although a Kshatriya, was now retired from fighting business. The brahmanas and sages, who were always for peace and tranquility, were very pleased at this. All of them embraced Balaram with great affection and induced him to perform various kinds of sacrifices in that sacred spot of Naimisharanya. Actually, Lord Balaram had no business performing the sacrifice recommended for ordinary human beings. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore He Himself is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. As such, His exemplary action in performing sacrifices was only to give a lesson to the common man, to show how one should abide by the injunctions of the Vedas. I was asked to read more slokas and complete the chapter, so I will read the few more slokas and then we will discuss. Verse 31. Tebhyo visuddham vijnanam bhagavan vyatarat vibhuhu yenaivatman yado vishvam atmanam vishvagam viduhu. The all-powerful Lord Balaram bestowed upon the sages pure spiritual knowledge by which they could see the whole universe within him and also see him pervading everything. Svapatyavabhritya snato jnati bandhu suridvritaha reje svajosnaye vendu suvasaha sustavalankೃತಃ. After executing with his wife the avabrata ablutions, the beautifully dressed and ornamented Lord Balaram, encircled by his immediate family and other relatives and friends, looked as splendid as the moon, surrounded by his effulgent rays. Purport. Srila Prabhupada beautifully describes this scene as follows. Lord Balaram then took the avabrata bath, which is taken after finishing sacrificial performances. After taking his bath, he dressed himself in new silken garments and decorated himself with beautiful jewelry. Amidst his relatives and friends, he appeared to be a shining full moon amidst the luminaries in the sky. Idrigvidyana shankyani balasya balasalinaha anantasya parameyasya maya matyasya shantihi. Countless other such pastimes are performed by mighty Balaram, the unlimited and immeasurable Supreme Lord, whose mystic Yoga Maya power makes him appear to be a human being. Yonusmareta ramasya karmanadbhuta karmanaha sayam prataranantasya vishno sadayito bhavet. All the activities of the unlimited Lord Balaram are amazing. Anyone who regularly remembers them at dawn and dusk will become very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Vishnu. Srila Prabhupada writes, Lord Balaram is the original Vishnu. Therefore, anyone remembering these pastimes of Lord Balaram in the morning and evening will certainly become a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus his life will become successful in all respects. Thus end the purpose of the humble servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to the 10th canto, 79th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Lord Balaram Goes on Pilgrimage. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Sakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkrapatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pastacha Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, we are reading about the wonderful pastimes of Lord Balaram. For the benefit of those who are not regularly hearing Bhagavatam from here, little bit recap of the situation we are in. It is discussed earlier that how when Mahabharat war was inevitable, it's going to happen, Lord Balaram did not want to take part in it well in advance, and he left Dwaraka for a pilgrimage. Actually, Lord Balaram's pilgrimage started well before he came to Naimisharanya. He started his pilgrimage. And we have seen how Lord Balaram went to various places before coming to Naimisharanya for the first time. In this particular sloka is coming for the second time. So before that what happened we'll little bit discuss. So there in Naimisharanya, the sages and saintly persons were performing yajna, and they have installed Rama Harshana to actually speak on various pastimes of the Lord, Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is actually supposed to glorify the personality of Godhead, his devotees and his pastimes. Bottom line is the glorification of the personality of Godhead. So Lord Balaram enters. Lord Balaram has descended assuming a form. We can call it quote unquote human-like form. In fact, the human beings are having a form like Krishna and Balaram. But for the sake of convenience, human-like form, like a human being. But even though he descends in the human-like form, he is God. You can't lose that position. So Bhagavatam is supposed to describe about the personality of Godhead. That very personality is coming in the assembly. Rama Harshana did not do the appropriate action when the Lord himself has entered, which was considered to be an offense by the Supreme Lord. If he considers, then there is no appeal for that. Rama Harshana was killed just by a blade of kusha grass, just by touching. For a great personality, even a kusha grass is like a thunderbolt. The sages said, hey, what is this? Just now we have installed him, gave him long life, etc., and finished. No problem. I will revive him. No, don't revive him. You have done it. It should be also true. But then you do something. Prayaschitta. Go for a pilgrimage. Remember, Balaram is already on a pilgrimage. This is one spot of his pilgrimage already. Self-imposed pilgrimage. There is no problem. Balaram, SriSriRadhaRasbihariTemple. Balaram is already on a pilgrimage. He said, it is nice, I am going according to this. Lord Krishna was told to go for a pilgrimage and take a holy bath in all the holy places by the gopis. And Krishna then special place. Pilgrim. When he was just 12 years old in Eka Chakra, there was a saintly person, Lakshmipati Tirtha, in Madhva Sampradaya. SriSriRadhaRasbihari ki, Sri Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Gaurnitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Lakshmipati Tirtha came to Lord Nityananda's father, Adai Pandit. He said, I am going on a Tirtha Yatra, I want an assistant. A sannyasi usually goes with an assistant, not really alone. He is supposed to be alone, but one assistant is okay. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also took one assistant. So many assistants wanted to come. He said, no, just one is sufficient. So he came and he saw Nityananda, very beautiful, and he said, I want him to be my assistant. Go with me. Adai Pandit was heartbroken. He didn't want to spare because he was loving Nityananda so much. So, but generally when the sadhu comes and asks, you should give. You can't say no. But sadhu should also know what to ask actually. He can't ask unreasonable thing. What can be given can be asked. Nityananda can be given, so he said, chalo. So Lord Nityananda traveled with Lakshmipati Tirtha, who is in fact Madhavendra Puri's guru. Lakshmipati Tirtha is Madhavendra Puri's guru. So he traveled actually for 20 years all over India. And obviously there is no description of what are the places visited. You can understand that in 20 years he'll have to travel in India. Obviously you must have covered all these places that is being mentioned here. So, also we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita how Lord Chaitanya also traveled. Before Lord Chaitanya traveled, once Balaram traveled and made the setting. Like before Krishna comes, Balaram makes the setting. Before Chaitanya could travel, Balaram once came 5,000 years ago. Then just before Lord Chaitanya made his travel, already 20 years before, Lord Nityananda traveled and made all the setting. And you will see very interestingly, all the places that Balaram has gone, described in Srimad Bhagavatam, is visited by Lord Chaitanya also. Tirupati, Kanchipuram, Srirangam, Madurai, Dhanushkoti, all these places, same. Whole list, what is given here, is also visited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Here we can see the mood of Lord visiting these places. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu certainly visited these places not to, go for sightseeing. When he went to every temple, he went to the temple of Vishnu certainly. He went to the temple of, Lord Shiva also, Durga also. Here Balaram has visited the temple of Skanda, Kartikeya. So, to give association to the personalities there and to make the people there to chant the holy name, to hear the holy name, to chant the holy name and to become devotees. So, Lord Balaram, it is mentioned, he agreed to go on a pilgrimage. It is only in the pretext of not wanting to be part of Mahabharata. You can understand, either Balaram or Krishna takes part in Mahabharata, there will be a big imbalance, Krishna is on Pandava's side. If suppose Balaram is on Duryodhana's side, it would have been a big problem actually. Kya karega? There need not be any imbalance like that. So Balaram already decided to go for pilgrimage. And he visiting the place of pilgrimage is for a common man, how they should actually follow the principles of Vedas. Exactly here also, if Balaram said, I did it, I am going, there is no big deal. He doesn't have to undergo so-called atonement of going to pilgrimage and taking bath. In fact, he purifies the places to become holy places. Where is that he has to go and take bath to become purified? So this is exactly to set an example for ordinary persons, devotees, how they should be following the norms of the scripture. It's getting the example. All this. The Mahabharata started and it is going to end. And the climax is that Duryodhana and Bhima are fighting. So Lord Balaram appears on the climax. What's happening here? It is described in Mahabharata how the fight between these two warriors. It is mentioned here also that Duryodhana was trained by Balaram. Balaram was his warfare guru, martial art guru, fighting with Gada, club fighting. So his technique was very highly refined. And Bhima was very powerful. He is more stronger actually. Vayuputra. He is very powerful and stronger. So his strength was more. And both of them were fighting without any clear indication of who is more powerful. And Lord Krishna, the decision maker of the match, he indicated to Arjuna the thigh. He said, "Kidhar kidhar maar rahe hai?" Thigh. And Arjuna could understand that. Arjuna indicated to Bhima thigh. He said, yeah, thigh I know. But then without thigh being targeted, the match is not coming to an end. Then Bhima could understand this is what Krishna wants. And Bhima it's with his club, Gada, on his thigh, like a thunderbolt landing on his body. Like thunderbolt landing on his body. So Duryodhana was flat, finished, fell down. Balaram is watching. Then Bhima was you see, this is so much anger because all the hard times that Duryodhana gave to Pandavas, especially first of all you hit him below the belt, that itself be a foul. And now, you are insulting him like this. This is very bad. He took his halayuda and wanted to charge Bhima actually. Exactly like Lord Krishna wanting to charge Bhishma there. And Arjuna has to come and hold him. Hey, wait a minute, what are you doing? You are not supposed to take any weapon. Here, who can hold Balaram? Krishna himself got hold of him. And he told Balaram, what are you doing? He said, yes, he has hit him below the thigh, that is fine. But Bhima took the vow, a Kshatriya taking the vow, he can execute it. You can't stop him. Plus, another important thing is, when Maitreya Muni came to Duryodhana, Maitreya Muni came and he said, Hare, what is this? Why don't you make peace? Just make peace and solve this problem. Actually, Duryodhana used to get very angry whenever anybody talked about peace. Say any advice, then he will become very angry. In fact, Krishna went to make peace and he wanted to attack Krishna actually. So, Maitreya Muni was, but he is a Muni, what to do then, by providence, he was tapping on his thigh in front of Maitreya Muni. He is giving advice, he is, as if, nothing is happening. Maitreya Muni cursed him that this thigh that you are tapping will be broken by Bhimasen. उनका एक सर्टिफिकेट मिल गया, authorization, authorized. It has to be broken by Bhima, that Maitreya Rishi has cursed him. बोला वो अलग बात है. Plus, when Gandhari wanted to look his entire body so that with her vision, sight, she can make him invincible, Krishna is there to come and tell him, Hare bhai, cover at least your private parts, Baba. What is this you are doing in front of your mother going naked? नहीं नहीं मेरा मम्मी बोला ऐसा, बोलने से क्या हो गया, तुम्हारा दिमाग नहीं है? Krishna, that is Krishna. So when he covered the middle portion, so his middle portion was not invincible. If it was seen by Gandhari, it could have been different. It's all arranged. So Krishna reminded Balaram, अरे भाई ये सब है, क्यों नहीं ऐसा करते? So Balaram knows that what Krishna wanted. He said, ठीक है भाई. So after this Tirtha Yatra, then he went actually back to Dwaraka. So it is mentioned, the sages of Naimisharanya told him, go for 1 year Tirtha Yatra. He went all the way to Kurukshetra, this fight is happening, but then he came to Dwaraka, Balaram. After that, Balaram returns once more to Naimisharanya, which is being discussed now. Now it appears that he is coming with his family, not alone. When Balaram entered, the sages were very happy again. He came back and they could see that he is now retired from Kshatriya job. He is not going to fight. Mahabharata is over. Whom to fight with actually? All burdens are removed already of Mother Earth. So then the Brahmanas here are very pleased to see Balaram retiring from the duties of Kshatriya, and they encouraged him to perform yajna, various yajnas. So Srila Prabhupada writes here, Lord Balaram is the personality of Godhead, for whose pleasure the yajnas are performed. So, the sages told you perform yajna. So, Lord Balaram also agreed to perform yajna again to teach the common man that they should do their duties. Then that doesn't work. Natural duty, normal duty one has to do. So, this is exactly like in Bhagavad-gita, Lord Krishna teaches, Yadyad acharati shreshta tat tat eveta rojana. Whatever is, the leader does, followers try to follow. That is why they are followers. That is why the leader gets the responsibility of performing exemplary activity. There is a responsibility there. Because assuming the position of a leader, and if or others, because people say, oh nahi kar raha hai, this person is not doing, so I will also not do. So it becomes very, very important for a leader to follow the norms of his leadership position. This is what you're supposed to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to do it. If personality of Godhead can do it to set example to others, how can anybody can ask for exceptions? Exceptions. No, I have become very senior, so I take some exception. Exceptions have to be authorized. Not in principle, practical application, there could be some little variation. In principle, things which are bottom line, foundational principles, that there is no excuse there. So in this way, Lord Balaram performed actually all the yajnas that the sages wanted him to perform. So after that, the Supreme Lord gave actually the spiritual knowledge, pure spiritual knowledge. They already have spiritual knowledge. Now transcendental knowledge, pure knowledge, by means of which they could see the entire universe in Balaram. He looks like another human being, but the entire universe in Balaram, and Balaram in everywhere, pervading, all pervading. Vishnu is all pervading, Sarva Vyapi. This is the special blessing of Lord Balaram to the sages there, exactly like then he was very attracted. And when he went closer, the baby inhaled and he went inside the body of baby Krishna. And there he could see the entire universe, everything, and his own ashram. I was wondering what's happening actually. I came inside and I'm seeing all these things. Then within some time, the Lord exiled him, he just came out. And he was put back into the thing and it was like as before. That means one pralaya has gone, he was put in the same position. And he could understand this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I wanted to see the illusory energy. He has shown me the illusory energy. When he again came to embrace the Lord that disappeared. So, exactly like the Lord, even though appears in the so-called human-like form, he sometimes uses his inconceivable potency to show that, like Vishwarupa form. Arjuna wanted to show the Vishwarupa form. He wanted to show everything. Not only that, when he was a small baby, he showed the whole universe within his mouth to Mother Yasoda. Several times he keeps showing. But to see that universal form, you need some transcendental vision. Ordinary eyes cannot see. The eyes which are made of the Panchamahabhuta, they can only see items which are made of Panchamahabhuta. Common sense, With physical lens, you can see physical objects, You take the physical lens and see transcendental soul. You can't. Open heart surgery, you try to see the soul. No, you won't see. Doctors, they can only do the surgery, but they can't see the soul. So, it needs the transcendental vision, Divya Sakshushu. Krishna says, I give the transcendental vision by means of which you can see my transcendental form. So, in the same way, here, Lord Balaram endowed upon the sages of Naimisharanya the spiritual transcendental knowledge by means of which they could immediately see this is not ordinary person, this is the Supreme Lord for whom all these sacrifices are meant for, the entire universe, and how he is pervading the entire universe, Sarva Vyapi. Is after the yajna is performed, the water from the yajna is used to do the abhishek, snan of the yajaman, the person who is the chief of the who performed the yajna. So here, one important thing with his wife, Revati, this is the reason that Balaram went to Dwaraka and then came here. He didn't come alone because he also knows what is going to happen. What are the different things going to be performed? Because yajna is supposed to be husband and wife sitting together as a yajaman performing it. So here it is mentioned how Lord Balaram along with his wife was given avabrata snan and beautifully dressed. So Prabhupada explains that how after finishing this Rajasuya, Yudhishthira Maharaj was given avabrata snan also, the same way. And Prabhupada writes, amidst his relatives and friends, he appeared to be like a full moon in the midst of luminaries. Lord Balaram, he is white in color. So he is like a full moon. Full moon is also white, right? So it was like Lord Balaram in the center, all others are like, stars, and he is in the center, The full moon decorated the stars, looks very beautiful actually. Like that, Lord Balaram was beautiful and even though Lord Balaram is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, he, accepting the human form, agrees to actually perform the humanly activities alongside Lord Krishna. Even though he appeared as the elder brother, not wanting to be forced by Krishna to do things which he agrees to go along with the Krishna. Exactly like, he didn't like the way Bhima actually finished the match. But Krishna said, no, this has to happen like this. Then he said, okay, Haribol, I am leaving. So, the Yoga Maya of the Supreme Lord, which makes the ordinary people to look at him like a human being. That is why people cannot recognize. Duryodhana, he went to Balaram, not accepting the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he knew it, he is expert in club fighting, he wanted to learn it. He wanted to accept him as a guru for the martial art, not otherwise. He is not surrendered to Balaram and he is not a devotee in the truest. Like Arjun is devotee of Lord Krishna, not like that. Just material calculation. I want to learn the warfare, I learned it, that's all. So, the Param Bhavam, the supreme nature, nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, ordinary living being cannot understand. Those unlimited activities of the Supreme Lord Balaram were amazing. For those who can see those activities through the scriptures, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-gita. The wonderful pastimes of Lord Balaram in the morning and evening. He will get the blessings of Lord Vishnu. Specifically, Prabhupada writes, Lord Balaram is the original Vishnu. Lord Balaram is the original Vishnu. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita explains about how Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead in the very beginning. And he first expands as Balaram in Goloka. So it is stated that Balaram and Krishna, they are one only, but they are different in color. Lord Krishna is cloudish, bluish black, and Lord Balaram is white. Set of gopis. So, in the first expansion, Krishna, Balaram, Aniruddha, and Pradyumna and Aniruddha. It's a first quadruple expansion. And Balaram is the original Sankarshana, from whom actually the second quadruple expansion happens. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And from that second quadruple Sankarshana, Balaram himself, then Karanadvakasai Vishnu comes. And from Karanadvakasai Vishnu, bodily pores, so many bubbles are coming, and they are all each universe, and he expands as Garbhodakasai Vishnu, from whose navel Brahma comes, creation happens. And again he expands as Kshirodakasai Vishnu and lies down in Kshirshagar. So in this way, there are three features of Vishnu actually. And the Vishnu came from Sankarshan, second quadruple, and that Sankarshan came from the first quadruple Sankarshan. Hierarchy is just only next to Krishna, as good as Krishna. So that Balaram takes the human form and he performs all these activities to set an example for others. Those activities are completely transcendental. They should not be seen with the material vision. And when one here mentioned that, remembers those activities of Lord Balaram, which are amazing. Ram ki. Any questions or comments? Ram Guru Prabhu ko deo pahila.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. When Srila Prabhupada established Krishna Balaram temple, Srila Prabhupada commented, now we have Krishna Balaram. If you have any problem, go to Balaram. He will solve. He said, there are so many Radha Krishna temples, but there is no Krishna Balaram temple. Because Krishna and Balaram, they played in that ground, Raman Reti. So that's why Prabhupada established. Then Prabhupada asked, Krishna is greater or Balaram is greater? So Krishna is the greatest. So Prabhupada, I'm curious to know if like this Gandhari Duryodhana incident, it is not mentioned in Mahabharata, original Vyas Bharat. Did you come across this incident any other Purana? But it is very famous story. But recently I came to know some Telugu scholars were debating that it's not mentioned in Mahabharata. Then I also read. If it is,
I have not really come across in that sense, but yes, it is. Even if Gandhari incident is not there, still his thigh can be broken because it is curse of Maitreya Rishi.
Maitreya, yeah, that is.
It's only an added flavor to the entire incident. It is not just because Bhima took the vow that he will hit. No. At the end of the day, it is match. Match means you can lose or gain. You can't have a guarantee actually. But the real guarantee came only because Maitreya cursed him. Maitreya's curse cannot go in waste. Even if he had a very strong because of die. Nobody can stop it. It's only, it happened in that way. Even though that breaks the Yuddha Dharma, Krishna approved it. Krishna approved it, that's it. So, Gandhari incident is coming back. Any other place it is mentioned or not, I am not sure. I have not come across. If it is there, well and good. Even if it is not there, still the whole thing stands. It is not only because his thigh was weak, he has died like that. Even if it was strong enough, there will be some other way that things would have been happening to make it break. Because of his arrogance to a Rishi, Maitreya Rishi, very great personality. So, if you deal with a great personality in a very offensive way, you have to face the consequence. Nobody can get out of consequence. All our actions are going to decide the consequence. Everything is going to decide. You can't do anything and everything and just get away with it. Forget it. If you are in that illusion. Nobody can get away. So, Gandhari thing really happened or not? Debatable. Let them debate. But then, Mahabharata is over.
Lord Balaram is so angry when Bhima hit Duryodhana on his thighs. My question is, why Lord Duryodhana was such a demon? Why Lord Balaram is so much favoring Duryodhana? It's very surprising.
See, Duryodhana, because of his selfishness, that he wanted to become whole and soul the emperor of the world, other than that, he had several good qualities. A Kshatriya, the 5 arrows, he could have said no, because these are the 5 arrows of Bhishma going to kill 5 Pandavas next day. He said, I promised you I am giving. Duryodhana is not an ordinary person. Knowing well that Bhishma Dev said these 5 arrows are for 5 Pandavas tomorrow, and he didn't even believe Bhishma Dev. No, I will keep it. He miscalculated. Krishna is a just being there. He doesn't know that Krishna is the decision maker of everything. So, Duryodhana followed the Kshatriya Dharma and he exhibited the quality of Kshatriya. A Kshatriya coming and asking that I want to learn a particular warfare of Kshatriya, another person who is expert in that, he cannot say no. A Guru, knowing well disciple is bad, proper. So, qualifications, criteria for learning, he fulfilled it and he served him. Of course, there is another part of it is having a bad relation with Pandavas and all the other things that we know. That is always there, but that is individual choice. Individual choice that he wanted to fight with his brothers. What Balaram can do about it? So, because he went to him, fulfilling the criteria to be a student as a guru, he taught him. Once you have taught him, you have become a disciple. Obviously, you have some guru having affection to the disciple. We can't have any objection to that. But then, when Krishna comes and tells everything is okay by chalo, then he said, "Theek hai bhai, ja raha hu." Even though his elder brother, he agreed to Krishna and he walked out. Yes. Your question? You have a question? Ask your question and then pass it on to him. He is waiting.
Prabhuji, here Sukadeva Goswami is writing in that 30th verse, Nivrit Rakhila, that he retired from the warfare duties. But you see that in the Prabhasa also he fought, killing.
That is not real warfare. Warfare means fighting with the enemy. This is friendly fight. Sometimes we call friendly fight, friendly match. So Mahabharata was not a friendly match, by the way. That was friendly match.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You told that Lord Balaram is also the supreme personality of Godhead. But
He is.
Yes. But we have also heard that he is Adi Guru. Balaramji is Adi Guru, and Guru is Sevak. Means Krishna is Savior Bhagwan, and Balaramji is Sevak Bhagwan. So how can we understand these two things in
He
same
is
line?
performing both roles. His original position is he is as good as Krishna, right? Even though he is as good as Krishna, then he actually helps Lord Krishna in everything, all the paraphernalia. He becomes Ananda Sesh. He makes him to lie down. Everything he does. So that doesn't contradict. That can give an idea. Even somebody like Balaram can be a servant. What about us? What we should be actually? To become servant is a very exalted position. Actual servant, quote unquote, really a servant, is a very exalted position. So Balaram is demonstrating by means of his own service to others that अरे भाई सीखो कैसा करने का है. So that doesn't contradict. Yes? Hanuman Prabhu's
हरे कृष्ण। दुर्योधन ने पूरे जीवन में अधर्म का पथ का अनुशीलन किया। उन्होंने पांडवों को लाक्षागृह में जलाने की कोशिश की, भीम को विष खिलाया और बहुत सारा अधर्म का कार्य किया है। इसलिए वो प्रभु उसको अधर्म से ही मरवाया। हरे कृष्ण।
Externally, it may look like adharma, that is a dharma for that particular situation. Dharmattu sakshat Bhagavat pranitam. What Krishna does for that situation, that is paro dharma, supreme dharma. That has to happen. To establish dharma, you have to do that Krishna show. But we don't get in the shoes of Krishna and we try to do it. No. We can't do that. That Krishna reserves that position. He can do that. We also said, Krishna did adharma to establish dharma. Tomorrow, I am going to start how to do adharma to establish dharma. Is the beginning of the end. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande.